Well, it was announced last week that Hillsong pastor Carl Lentz had been fired for moral issues, which we later found out was due to the fact that he was unfaithful in his marriage. Well, now the woman who was allegedly in that relationship with Carl Lentz has come forward and given her story. We're going to break it all down. Before we go any further, guys, if you enjoy the daily content I put out for you here on YouTube, I encourage you guys help support the ministry over on Patreon. You can do so for as little as $5 a month. Patreon.com/conservative-truth. That link in the description gets you access to over 25 exclusive podcasts where I talk more about sensitive information. You get the alerts for anything that goes out on Patreon, unlike YouTube, where you're not going to be notified of all these videos that I put out, even if you have that bell selected, because YouTube doesn't like me. But I know you guys do like me, so when you get done watching me here, browse back to check what you've missed. Please like this video, share it, hit the bell, subscribe, and I wear the glasses because I'm blind. So like I said, Carl Lentz, he's no more from Hillsong. He's out of here. And I'm not surprised because he's known as a celebrity pastor. This guy has been dabbling in the things of the world. He's more influenced by the world than he goes out and actually influences the world. Okay, we know this. This is kind of Hillsong's whole deal. Okay, so I wasn't shocked by this. It was announced by Brian Houston, who is, the whole senior pastor of Hillsong, based there in Sydney, Australia, that, in fact, Carl Lentz was gone. That he came out and said that, yes, in fact, he was unfaithful in his marriage to his wife, Laura, for over 17 years. They have 3 kids together. Well, now the woman who allegedly had this relationship with Lentz has come forward in a new interview. Her name is, they're calling her Rainan. That's what they're identifying her as. Apparently, this went on for 5 months between her and Lentz. She said in an interview, she's a Muslim woman, by the way. I want to stress that because it's going to come into play here with what I have to say about this whole deal. She's a New York designer and also actress. She said that the couple met at Domino Park in New York back in May. She said she had no idea that Lentz was married or that he was even a pastor. In fact, she said that in the beginning, he would not even give her his last name, only just telling her that his name was Carl and that he was a sports agent and that he wanted her to be able to get to know him more on a personal level before she had the chance to get out there on Google and look up more information about him. And if that's not suspect enough, you're supposedly going to start entering a relationship with somebody. You don't want to give him your last name. Say, I want you to know me personally first. He doesn't tell her. He lies about his position. He's not a sports agent. He's a pastor. She has no idea. She said, look, I come from the Muslim world. I have no idea about Christianity, anything like that whatsoever. So she's like, I don't know who this guy is. Apparently he's a big name and everything, but she said she has absolutely no idea about this. She said that in the beginning, he was telling her that the most beautiful women in the world come from the Middle East. She is of Egyptian and Palestinian descent, but she said that their relationship was more about just the deed, and I think you know what I'm talking about when I say the deed. She said she truly loved Carl, and that he loved her, and that eventually, after a couple of dates, she finally found out that Lentz was in fact married. He told her that he had never done anything like this before, that he was feeling guilty, but still, nevertheless, they engaged in the deed several times a week, meeting up, and then it was discovered. Everyone wanted to know, how did this happen? How did Lentz get busted? Well, apparently his wife, Laura, herself, on Lentz's computer, had seen the conversations, the very intimate conversations between Lentz and this woman, Rainan, and that was enough for her to basically catch him on this, and then this leads up to Lentz's firing. And now, Rainan is saying how horrified she is by this whole deal, that she's upset, that she thinks that Lentz was just looking at her as a fling. This was in response to the comments that Lentz made when he was busted by all this and had gotten, basically fired as the lead pastor, saying that he was unfaithful and he was doing things he shouldn't have. She basically wanted him to come out and say that he was in love with her, that what they had was real. He didn't do that because obviously he's going to try to mend his marriage, which I don't know if he'll be able to do that or not. So Rainan exposing all of this, the whole details, everything that went on with the relationship. And it's sad to see this, a pastor who was fallen. But again, we've been covering it here on this channel. More and more of them are going in this direction. With Carl Lentz, though, I wasn't surprised. I could be more surprised with somebody, that doesn't really, have the image that Lentz does, hanging out with all these celebrities. But you kind of knew at some point this was going to happen. I feel for his wife and for his kids and all that were involved here. This is just bad all around. What do you guys think about the whole situation? You can let me know in the comment section. I'll have more information for you in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back with more. You guys take care. Please be safe out there. God bless each and every single one of you, and I'll talk with you soon.